Welcome to our Friday live stream, This Week in Cannabis News, powered by Dutchie. Each Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, we deliver an overview of this week's cannabis news. It's quick, it's comprehensive, and it sends you into the weekend as a more informed cannabis professional, and it's all made possible by our friends at Dutchie. And on that note, in today's newsletter, you can read about how Dutchie and Ascend Wellness partnered up to totally revamp Ascend's customer experience with Dutchie Tech. A link to today's newsletter is in the show notes, and let's get to it. We congratulate Terry Cole on his confirmation as DEA Administrator. During his hearing, Cole identified advancing the agency's review of rescheduling as a priority. We look forward to working with the Trump administration to move our nation beyond the failed policies of the past. That's what the U.S. Cannabis Roundtable, the biggest industry trade group, said on social media this week, reacting to Cole's Senate confirmation. Cole has said restarting the process to move cannabis from Schedule 3 to Schedule 1 would be one of his first priorities, but he also has made anti-cannabis comments in the past. Many in the cannabis industry are hopeful about Cole's appointment, but it remains to be seen what the agency does with regards to rescheduling. We have a long piece on Cultivated about Cole's complex history with cannabis policy. It's linked in the show notes. And if you want even more, read our editor-in-chief's piece from this week titled, "The DEA Has a New Permanent Head, So What's Next for Rescheduling?" That's from our editor-in-chief and co-founder, Jeremy Burke. The Texas legislature began its special summer session this week to take a second swing at hemp regulation, among other things like flood protection, which has been top of mind in Texas, obviously. Recall that Texas lawmakers in June passed a sweeping hemp ban, SB 3, that would have potentially wiped out a statewide industry that reportedly generates up to $5.5 billion a year, if Governor Greg Abbott had not vetoed the bill in a last-minute move. Consumers and companies breathed a sigh of relief over the veto, but Abbott and the Texas lawmakers are not done yet. Following the veto, Abbott called for a special legislative session that began on Monday to hash out, pun intended, a new hemp bill along with several other legislative matters that were left unaddressed during the regular session. Now, follow Cultivated for the latest from Texas, including in today's newsletter where a Democrat introduced a full legalization bill while Republicans stoke even more reefer madness. To Minnesota. Minnesota plans to spend the rest of the year opening cannabis shops to launch its nascent cannabis market. So far, cannabis regulators have given final approval to 5 retailers, but by the end of the year, they expect up to 150 shops to be open for business, in addition to those operated by one of the state's 11 tribal nations. So look for Minnesota to have 150 shops, hopefully, beginning at 2026. And people moves. Aaron Smith, founding CEO of the National Cannabis Industry Association, is leaving his post after 15 years to focus on democracy reform work, though he'll remain on the board to assist with the search for his replacement. He will be the new political director at United America. Now, former Chief Strategy Officer Brooke Gilbert has also been promoted to Chief Operating Officer, and we here at Cultivated thank Aaron for all his hard work on behalf of the industry. Canadian cannabis companies are supplying nearly half of Germany's booming medical market, one of the few bright spots in an industry that has struggled to sustain growth the last few years. On Sunday, Chris Kasakia dove into the Canada-cozy relationship between Canada and Germany for Cultivated. I encourage you to read that piece from Sunday titled, "Germany's Expanding Medical Cannabis Market is a Boon for Canadian Companies." New Jersey is a state that was originally dominated by multi-state operators, products, and retail stores, but over the past 18 months, it has transformed, according to our partners at Lit Alerts. Now, a strong group of excellent retailers who have taken over the top spots are focused on their local customers and their bottom line. According to Lit Alerts, most of these retailer operators know each other, are willing to help one another, and have found success in creating strong relationships with their local communities and vendors. These are New Jersey's independent retail heavy hitters that have burst onto the scene and have held their spots on the top quartile of store performance by estimated monthly sales volume. As New Jersey continues to expand, look for this group to continue to hold their spots and possibly expand them as they look to open more locations and pull away from the pack. You can see this chart, obviously, from our partners at Lit Alerts. For exclusive updates from Lit Alerts and a special offer, be sure to follow Cultivated at cultivated.news. And that's it for this week's Cannabis News, powered by Dutchie. Thank you all for joining us here today. Thank you, Lit Alerts, for your partnership and exclusive insights this week into the New Jersey market. And thank you, Dutchie, as always, for making this show possible each and every week. You'll find all of these stories, much more on cultivated.news. We'd love for you also to follow us on LinkedIn and YouTube if you're watching us there right now. Check back next Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, right here on This Week in Cannabis News, powered by Dutchie. Have a good and safe weekend.